King Soopers has teamed up with the Denver Zoo to be the exclusive outlet for Klondike and Snow licensed merchandise. All King Soopers carry a wide selection of t-shirts, hats, cups, and of course the Klondike and Snow video, all at special prices. Plus, a portion of all proceeds will be donated to the Denver Zoo. So help the Denver Zoo and Klondike and Snow with each purchase. King Soopers, where our people make the difference 24 hours a day.
Klondike and Snow. In recent months, they've taken center stage at the Denver Zoo. But there are lots of other animals to view here at the zoo.
Animals from all over the world, right here in our own backyard. The Denver Zoo is home to more than 3,500 animals, representing more than 600 different species.
At the zoo, you can view animals in their natural surroundings.
In the Tropical Discovery exhibit, you can go around the world and under the sea.
Year-round, at the Denver Zoo, you can view new babies.
So visit the Denver Zoo, where every day wildlife teaches about their world and our own.
Be world wise. It's serious fun. Polar bears. They grow to more than 1,000 pounds of aggressive power. Klondike and Snow. At birth, each weighed 1 pound. 1 fragile, helpless pound. They could not see. They could not hear. They nearly froze when their mother abandoned them. And every day of their lives, they make history. History in the making, right here at the Denver Zoo. It's been more than 10 years since a polar bear cub was hand-raised in any U.S. zoo and survived. That's what makes Klondike and Snow miracle babies. Watch now as we take you where no one else has gone, behind the scenes at the Denver Zoo Nursery with the dedicated people saving Klondike and Snow. It started off to be just another Sunday morning at the Denver Zoo. Gary Aguirre tells the story of coming to work as usual at the polar bear exhibit. He glanced at the TV screen where he'd been watching a pregnant mother bear in her zoo-built den. Suddenly, he saw a tiny speck on the ground.
Well, to tell you the truth, I first thought it was a little mouse.
But instinct told him to investigate. And quickly, he rushed into the den, and on the ground he found 2 motionless polar bear cubs. He stuffed straw into an open drain so they wouldn't just wash away.
And then I put them in my coat, and we took them up to the nursery.
The cubs arrive at the zoo nursery more dead than alive. Their temperature does not even register on a thermometer. They cannot suck, so the zoo staff feeds them through tubes. The male, Klondike, has a 3-inch wound on his head from an injury at birth.
I had nothing to judge against, but it looked like 2 babies that were in big trouble. I just assumed it would be a loss, and by the end of the day, they'd be gone.
By the end of the day, the babies are not gone, but they are still in big trouble. Like all polar bears at birth, they are tiny and vulnerable. How can such fragile little bears survive? In the wild and even in captivity, a polar bear mother keeps her cubs close to her in a den, nursing them for several months while they grow bigger and stronger. In fact, the mother and cubs don't come out of the den until the cubs are more mature. That's why even most experts on polar bears have never seen a polar bear baby. But Klondike and Snow's mother, a bear named Ulu, showed no interest in caring for her cubs when they were born.
It has nothing to do with her being a bad mother or not liking her kids. I feel she was probably kind of nervous in that situation. It's the first time she ever had babies. It scared her. She didn't know what to do. And I think that's about all there is to it. She may have other cubs in the future and do a better job.
Now, to keep the cubs alive, the zoo staff must do what their mother did not. They must feed the bears themselves, hand-raise them.
Well, the challenge with hand-raising a baby is trying to come as close as possible to the formula that Mom would use. And we're at a kind of a handicap with a polar bear because not many people know what a polar bear mother's milk is like.
A little extra calcium.
The zoo staff tries mixing puppy formula, vitamins, half and half, and cod liver oil. But from the start, Klondike has trouble suckling, and he has difficulty digesting the food. His bloated belly tells the story. He is struggling to survive.
At one point, we thought that maybe he was on a case of going to die on us. We were afraid of that. So
quickly, the zoo staff changes the formula. Instead of cod liver oil, they start using safflower oil.
It's just right now.
Almost immediately, Klondike improves. 33 days after he was born, he opens his eyes for the first time and sees the people who saved his life. By now, thousands of eyes are focused on the bears.
They look like little puppies.
They'll stay in the nursery between up to 4-6 months. And
Zoo volunteer Rush Young answers questions from people who are getting the chance of a lifetime. A look at polar bear cubs.
their dad now is 9 years old, and he weighs over 1,000 pounds. At the end of 6 months, they'll be somewhere between 75 and 100 pounds.
Tip a nose.
At this point in their lives, the bears are growing larger every hour.
Ooh, bigger boy, you gotta go on a diet.
Every day, the staff measures their progress.
30 days, he was 1.81.
They track that progress on a computer. It's important that the bears grow at the right rate, not too slowly, but also not too quickly.
See where his weight dropped off?
To keep their rate of growth steady, the bears eat round the clock every 3 hours.
Oh, all right, all right.
And so, to give Klondike and his sister Snow 24-hour-a-day care,
There you go. Now you go to sleep.
the zoo staff packs them up every night
Okay, see you tomorrow morning, little boy.
and carries them home. Every night, week after week, the bears' human parents get up for the 2 a.m. feeding.
That's a good boy.
With each day, Klondike gets bigger and stronger. But then, unexpectedly, Snow starts to go downhill. Now it's Snow who can't seem to digest the food. Medical technologist Joan Poston runs tests on Snow's blood in the zoo hospital's laboratory. She's trying to solve the mystery. What's going wrong? Veterinary assistant Cindy Bickle can't stop worrying.
You go home, you think about them constantly, wondering if they're going to be alive the next morning.
School children hear that Snow is sick. Their get well cards fill the nursery. But Snow does not improve. Then new tests under anesthetic confirm the zoo staff's fears. Snow is not absorbing enough calcium from her diet. She has a disease humans get, rickets, and it's causing dozens of tiny broken bones. And that creates a terrible possibility. Even if she lives, will Snow be deformed, crippled for the rest of her life?
He's a snowball, all right, aren't ya?
Snow, a polar bear baby with rickets.
There you go.
Instead of growing stronger, her bones just bend and break. Klondike also has rickets, but he's in better shape than his sister. If Snow does not absorb more calcium from her diet, she might never walk. And she will not be able to survive around other adult polar bears.
You're silly.
When she started to slip away on us, we took a second set of radiographs and realized that their bone development was not normal. They weren't laying down mineral as they should be.
The zoo staff had changed the bear's food once before to save Klondike's life. And now they change it again.
Yeah.
Within 48 hours, both Snow and Klondike start to improve. And how did the staff change the formula? They went back to the oil they started with, cod liver oil.
There you go.
With two quickly developing bears having growth spurts at different times, it had been a constant challenge to find just the right formula at the right time for the right bear. Now, the cod liver oil is no longer causing Klondike digestive problems, and the vitamin D in the oil is enabling both bears to absorb enough calcium from their diet.
Heart rate steady at 120. Ready?
New tests show Snow's broken bones are healing, and there are no new fractures. But veterinarian Dr. David Kenny knows it's too soon to celebrate.
We'll be pretty worried until we actually see them get up and walk.
Oh, look at him go.
2 weeks later, Klondike takes his first steps with a lot of help from his friends. But there's not much you can do to help a polar bear when he's teething.
Oh, goodness. Are you teething?
Just like babies, polar bears get fussy when they cut their teeth.
These two little incisors.
They don't look like much now, but someday the bear's teeth will be long and sharp.
See, upper canines.
He's teething.
So now it's time for a visit from polar bear dentist, Dr. Peter Emily.
From our standpoint, we're looking to see if everything is coming into the right spot, and which it is. This is the daddy's head. You can
While
see.
Klondike is under anesthetic, Dr. Emily compares his body to the skull of a full-grown polar bear.
His head will be longer than his body is here right now. This is what this in here will eventually look like. I've never seen a baby this way. I mean, the mothers wouldn't let you come in and do this, but this is a great opportunity to see this.
The bears have a long way to go, but they have also come a long way. They still go home with zoo staff members every night. Just like a polar bear mother, veterinary assistant Cindy Bickle creates a den in her living room.
And I'm sure the mother in the den does not sleep much. And I am not either. It's just the same.
See, she's so different than Klondike.
When Snow continues to lag in her physical development, the zoo brings in Mary Lester, a physical therapist.
Last week she had no muscles here, so we work with her, firing her muscles, getting them to fire. Come on. Quick stretches, tapping, and we try to get her head up, and then we try to resist real gently, which makes her creep a little bit faster. Good girl, good girl. The question really is, will she be able to survive, even in a zoo environment, with other animals who are stronger?
This is Klondike. This is the little male.
By now, the bears have become celebrities. Record numbers of people are coming to the Denver Zoo and waiting their turn to see them.
Everyone needs to keep moving, please.
And the bears are starting to show curiosity about all their visitors. Klondike and Snow are also behaving more like adult bears, much to the delight of their fans. But what many people do not realize is that Klondike and Snow are not Denver's first famous bears. No, they're just the latest in the Denver Zoo's long history of legendary polar bears. Denver's most famous polar bear was Velox. For years, she had performed in an animal act with the Ringling Brothers Circus, but then she developed cataracts and went blind. And so Velox came to live right here. And with her, in this same enclosure, the zoo put another animal. Not another bear, but a sea lion named Cora. It was a big mistake. Now remember, polar bears eat sea lions. Even blind polar bears eat sea lions.
Why the zoo management at that time thought that that would work, I don't know. But after several months of living together, Velox did the obvious and killed the sea lion, which, as far as I know, was her only indiscretion.
Velox also went to war in Korea as the mascot of the 31st Regiment of the 7th Infantry Division, U.S. Army. Velox was so popular that in 1961, when she died, Denver's mayor received hundreds of calls asking that she receive a proper burial. And so it was that Velox, the blind polar bear, was buried at the Denver Zoo with this inscription: an exceptional polar bear who delighted 2 generations of Denver children. Now the Denver Zoo has new bears to delight children, children of all ages. As they get older, the bears get new privileges. They get to see the world outside their nursery. And finally, they get to stay overnight at the zoo nursery. But veterinary assistant Denny Rolling still bunks in with them to make sure there are no problems at night. At 3 months, the bears weigh more than 20 pounds, 20 times what they weighed when they were born. They are thriving, yes, but they are not yet walking. That will be, quite literally, their next big step. By the time they turn 3 months old, Klondike and Snow still look a little like stuffed animals. But very quickly, Klondike and Snow are growing into adult polar bears. What does that mean? Well, as you are about to see, bears will be bears. When they were born, Klondike and Snow had no idea what was going on around them. Now they have discovered their world. And they are curious about everything, including us.
You're gonna get weighed.
When they were young, keeping track of the cub's weight meant a simple trip to the scale.
Little frantic boy.
Look at what a big boy you are.
Now the bears weigh more than 30 pounds, and weighing them can be a hazardous venture. When they were smaller, the bears depended on their human parents for everything. Now they have become more independent because now they are walking. Klondike was the first to walk, and he is still the stronger bear. Snow was slow to walk. She scooted along, trying to keep up with her brother.
The big question was, would she be able to walk? And this Monday she showed some signs that she's going to be able to do that. It'll still be another week or 2, I think, before we see her walking like him, if she's going to do it.
Just a few days later, we watched Snow finally get those back legs up under her and take a few good steps.
That's good.
Within a couple weeks, Snow had no trouble at all keeping up with Klondike.
He says this is fun. I like it. Oh, that's warm.
When they were little, a bear bath meant a trip to the sink. Now the bears are learning what water is really for.
Hey. You're a good boy. Yeah. He's a good boy. That's a good girl. What are you going down there for? Get back here. I already washed my feet. This is scary in here with you. Get your head out of there. You're going to drown. What are you? A submariner. Hey, no biting. Hey. That's it.
When the bears were small, the zoo staff searched for the best formula to help their quickly developing bones get strong. Now, Klondike is strong enough to eat standing up. But watch what happens when Klondike finishes eating first and wants Snow's food.
Even though they're used to us hand-raising, polar bears by nature are an aggressive animal, and when they don't get what they want, they may throw a temper tantrum. When they're 3 pounds in weight, that's no big deal, but when they start to get 30, 40, 50 pounds, that may become a little difficult.
When they were small, the cubs sucked on fingers and purred when they were content. Now, the bears still purr when they have a human pacifier, but veterinary assistant Denny Rawling knows the danger.
They've got a good grip, and if I got up right now, you'd see real bear behavior. Yes, they bite pretty hard.
Bite pretty hard? Just watch Snow when she gets annoyed with her physical therapist.
Ooh.
From the start, the same people have taken care of the bears. Klondike and Snow do recognize their human parents now, but even that will change.
They're used to us, but when they'll grow out of that pretty quickly. When they grow up and they're a full-size bear, they won't remember us.
They won't remember because bears will be bears. Even in captivity, polar bears are not pets. They are wild, aggressive animals. And even though they don't always look it, so are Klondike and Snow.
On occasion, when one of them doesn't want to play and the other one's, poking at it or chewing on it, they'll turn around and fight like cats and dogs for a couple of seconds, and then it's over, and they're back together again. Yeah, we're real careful around the two cubs. The people that, again, have raised them from the beginning, you have a sense for what you can do and what you can't.
Every day, Dr. Kinney exercises Klondike and Snow to build up their muscles and improve their coordination.
They'll wander around when you take their harnesses off, but they don't really leave us too far behind. They're always checking to see where you are.
During these exercise sessions, the bears' personalities emerge clearly.
You'll notice that she always follows him. If he goes to investigate something, she's right behind him. She does not like to be left behind by her brother. He's much more curious, and she's not really that curious, but she wants to make sure that he doesn't disappear someplace that she can't get to. I think they make this sound when they're happy, when they've made contact with something they think is their parent.
But watch what happens when Dr. Kinney takes his hand away. And how does Dr. Kinney call the bears to come? That's right, he just whistles and they come, just as if they were following their mother to the den. In so many ways, the bears have come to see the zoo staff as their parents. But now that they are nearly 4 months old, the time has come to wean the bears away from their human friends. So now Klondike and Snow spend more time alone, less time playing with the zoo staff.
Polar bear cubs don't usually leave their mothers until they're 2 years old. But we just can't wait that long. They'd be too large, too dangerous.
Just like babies are weaned from a bottle to a cup, so too the bears are being weaned from bottles to bowls. Now they get a mixture of dog food, bear food, and carefully filleted trout.
Take all the bones out.
The bears like that trout.
Got it.
The last big step, weaning the bears from the nursery. Every day, Klondike and Snow take a hike to the exhibit, which will be their new home. Little by little, they are getting accustomed to this new place.
It's going to be traumatic for them for a while, and it's also traumatic for us to have to pull away, but it's going to be safest and best for them to do that.
Now, just past their 4-month birthday, the bears weigh more than 50 pounds. Do they still show any effects from the rickets? The answer is in the x-rays.
This is Klondike. You can see how nice and straight both his femurs are. This one is Snow's, and you can see her left leg looks almost exactly the same as his femur, but there's a bow in the right femur, and that's basically the major residual effect that we're seeing from the rickets. We think that this bone is continuing to remodel. It looks like it's laying down bone on the inside of the curve, so it is possible that it still could become straight.
The slightly curved leg bone did slow Snow's development, but she's catching up now. Finally, the last skill the bears will learn from the zoo staff.
Here you go, Klondike.
Since Mom is not taking care of their swimming lessons, we had to take it over and wanted to feel confident that they could swim in a deep pool.
The bears' pool has been filled 6 inches at a time so they could get used to it.
Just yesterday was the first time we filled it to the top and went in there with them to see how well they could swim, and it's surprising how good they are at it. They're swimming quite well now. I think the jumping in kind of stimulates them. They get more excited. They want to jump in right behind you, just like your kids probably would do at a pool.
And after a good swim, how do Klondike and Snow like to dry off? They have nice, clean zoo towels. But they really prefer the juniper bushes. On the day they were born, no one gave these tiny bears much of a chance. Put them on display to the public, Dr. Kenny said that day, so at least a few people will get to see what very few people had ever seen: newborn polar bear cubs. But from their very first days on this earth, Klondike and Snow fought to survive. Will the bears really forget the people who saved them and raised them? Some experts believe Klondike and Snow may remember their human parents. The answer will come, as have so many answers about these bear cubs, only with time. Because every day they live, they continue to make history.
Oh, poor baby. Get comfortable. Are you gonna get worn out and go to CB's?
Get back, you bears.
So cutie.
We're sporting our new gray hairs.
Gray hair.
With each day, we get a new gray hair.
And in here, too.
Oh, you're in trouble. He's really
Oh, she's...
There's a bear.
I don't like that.
There's a polar bear.
temperatures elevated and that's making them sick. So they are spoiled.
I think that's it.
Where?
Right there. Near the back. See it?
No.
Look, over there.
Where?
Right over there.
I don't see anything.
It's right there.